Garcia. I'm the assistant director at the ISSO. And so really I'm just here to guide you through some of the beginning process as you're just interested in maybe different programs and you're wanting to know the next steps after you've been admitted. So please, if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to put them in the chat, or we'll have time afterwards to answer any questions as well. So with that, I will go ahead and get started. I can move this. Yes, okay. All right, so hopefully you're here because you're interested in studying at UT Dallas. And so we are very much a research university, and there's just so much here that the university offers. And so at least with the ISSO, there's an office that is here to guide you every step of the way. And so we hope that you utilize all the services that we have. Of course, the very first step before moving forward with the immigration process is going to be getting admitted into the university. And so once you have gained admissions, either by working with the admissions office or with the department, you'll be able to move forward with us in applying for the I-20. Also, the ISSO, the international office, does not really engage or assist with any type of scholarships. We get a lot of students that are interested in scholarships. And so that's really going to be with your department, with the department. And so if you have applied or are interested or wanting to know what's available, they're going to be the best resource for you to learn more, get more information, and then once you receive that, you can use that scholarship and that information as you move along with the immigration process. Okay, so something very important that it may seem small, but it's absolutely crucial as you're moving forward with us and starting your journey with us at UT Dallas is setting up your UTD email. So you want to set that up as early as possible. Not only does the will the ISSO be sending you important information, but also the university gets sent there. And so setting up your email, setting up your UT Dallas credentials is the very next step after being admitted towards applying for the I-20. So if you're already at that step or you're about to be through that step, it's very, very important that you make sure that you set that up. You have access, that you're checking it regularly, because that really is one of the main ways that our office is going to be communicating with you. And it's also how you are going to receive your Form I-20 as well. So again, very important, small step that a lot of students miss, but I just want to make sure that you all are aware of that. Okay, so applying for the I-20, I know it may seem a little bit scary, may seem a little bit confusing, but like I said, we here at the ISSO are here to help you. So applying for the I-20, everything is going to be done online. You don't have to mail us anything, really send us anything via email. It's all going to be through our portal called iComment, which you'll slowly be getting more familiar with, because that's how our international F1 and our J1 students make requests to our office. So iComment is where you will be starting. As I mentioned before, having those UTD credentials is set up is critical, because you'll need those in order to log in. And like I said before, you also can't really start this process until you've been admitted to UT Dallas. So you want to make sure that you're following this timeline and being admitted, setting up your UT Dallas credentials, and then applying. Because if you go out of order in any of those, you're not going to be able to access all the things that you need to access. So very next step is applying for the I-20 itself. We're going to ask you for various documents, including financial documents, some immigration documents like your passport, things like that. So that is the very next step. And we'll get into that a little bit more, because like I said, I know it can be a little bit confusing. So these are just some screenshots of what you'll be clicking on, how you'll be getting through iCommit. So this is what the main homepage looks like. Since you would be a prospective student, you're going to want to click there. And then as you can see, my next red circle is F1 initial I-20 request. That's what you're going to want to click. And then the right here on the right, that's what you're going to see. So you want to make sure, again, I know it seems a little simple, but we do have students who get a little lost here. So you want to make sure that you are saying yes to that very first question, that you're currently outside the US and you plan to apply for an F1. If your answer is no, you're not going to be able to move forward with this, and then that means that maybe your situation is a little bit different. And so that's when you're going to want to reach out to us, and so we can explain what your options are, what you need to do. But for the majority of you all, you're going to be following this process in order to get to the actual request and applying for the I-20 with our office. I do want to make this quick note just about our financial documents. So any false documents, anything that's like questionable, fraudulent, it's not tolerated here at the university. We will not accept those types of documents. And so we just want to make sure that you know the seriousness and the severity of attempting to use falsified documents while applying for the I-20. Again, we do our best to check your documents, get all the information we can from you, but it is a serious offense to attempt to submit to us potentially fraudulent documents. So again, when it comes to when it comes to financial documents, I'm sorry, there are lots of options and ways for you to submit these different documents to us. We have a lot of different documents that are acceptable, and so our website is very comprehensive and what we can accept and not accept. So, and we'll get a little bit through that here in the next slide. So what documents are required? So when you're going through iCommit and you're asked to upload things, definitely the passport, your copy of your passport. Now we just need the photo size, the one with all your biographical information. We don't need the entire passport book. You're also going to submit the financial affidavit. You'll want to make sure that that's signed. And again, I'll get a little bit more detail shortly. And then, of course, you are going to be required to submit financial documents. And that can be so many different things. That can be a bank statement, that can be a scholarship, it can be a loan, right? So all these things could be acceptable, but they must meet the requirements that are listed on our webpage. So first up, the passport. As I said, we really just need the part of your passport that shows your picture, has your biographical information, because that's what we're confirming and putting into the I-20 as we're creating it for you. This is Timok. This is our mascot. Some students find him cute, others not so much, but we thought it would be fun to use him as an example of having a passport. Okay, the financial affidavit. So this is a form that our office uses along with your financial documents. So again, it's important to see our requirements, what's acceptable, what's not acceptable. And so you'll want to make sure on those 2 pages there that Section B is hand signed by you. We do accept some electronic signatures. And then if you have any sponsors, so let's say your parents are helping, you have an uncle, a family member, or really any type of sponsor that's wanting to assist you in paying for your education, they are going to need to sign Section D. Another option that is not required, but you're able to do so, is Section E, which is the bank certification. Now, this can usually be an either or, so you can either provide us with separate financial documents like a bank statement, or if your bank is willing to sign and stamp this section, then that's acceptable as well. But it would need to be a wet ink signature and stamp as well. Anything that's copy paste, again, is not going to be acceptable. Okay, a lot of students have questions about expenses, the tuition, the amount of money. Now, I just want to be clear that when it comes to estimated expenses for the I-20 that may look different than your actual expenses. So again, this is just for I-20 purposes. If you go again to our, excuse me, if you go to our financial requirements webpage, it'll lead you to that first screenshot on the left, and then you'll click below for the PDF, which I gave you the two examples here. So graduate expenses is on the right, and it shows you a breakdown of the cost, right, of our estimated expenses. So there's tuition, there's living expenses, insurance, if you're bringing a dependent, so if you're bringing a spouse or any children, then there will be additional costs that you'll need to show. But here it's all broken down. Um, as you can see, there's non-resident and resident tuition. So actually, quite a few of our international students are eligible for that resident tuition rate, and that's usually possible with a scholarship, a merit-based scholarship for at least $1,000. So if you're able to secure that with your academic department, then that, as you can see, really significantly reduces the amount that you need to show us. So and we have a lot of our international students that are able to utilize that resident tuition. All right, now financial documents, again, lots of options that you can see here. I would say majority of our students do provide us with bank letters and probably loan letters. Those are probably the most common. As you can see on my list here, some of the requirements is that it must be in English. We do have different people in the office that can speak different languages, but it's just one of our requirements that it should be in English. You'll want to make sure the currency's on there. Sometimes, you know, some banks are able to make the conversion for you in US dollars. Sometimes it's in your own home country currency. It does need to be issued within the last 12 months. It needs to also show liquid funds. So we need to see that this money can be accessed at any time. So that kind of some students have questions about different types of like investments accounts and things, and so you'll need an additional letter with that. But like I said, for the most part, most students just use a bank statement, either from yourself or a sponsor, like I said, loan letter. So even if you are able to secure an education loan, let's say that one of your family members co-signed, they will need to sign that financial affidavit that we talked about a few minutes ago. But yeah, I would say we are fairly open and we try to work with you as much as we can. As I said earlier, again, we don't really oversee any type of distribution of scholarships or anything like that. So you want to make sure that you're reaching out to those appropriate offices for assistance. Okay, this is an optional new form that we have, and this is called the Room and Meals Affidavit. And so this is for students who have some type of sponsor that's living in the US. So this would not be another F1 international student. This would be someone who is either like a US citizen or they're on another type of work visa. And they're saying that they're going to offer you room and meals at no expense. So that means that you're not doing any type of work for them. They're letting you stay with them in their home. And so if you are able to have this, you have a sponsor who's willing and able to let you stay at their home, they can sign the room and meals affidavit, and that would, again, reduce the amount of funding that you would need to show. So living expenses is around $20,000, so that would cut that cost from the rest of the funding that you would need to show for your I-20. Another new opportunity that we're offering students is something called the pre-arrival deposit. Now, this does not go to our office. It is completely optional. We've just found that some students have found this beneficial when they're going to their visa interview. And we put a remark on your I-20 saying that you've made a deposit. We recommend a minimum of 5,000. We have students who've done 1,000, 3,000, even $5,000. And so that amount will be reflected on your I-20, and that also just shows your seriousness, your support for wanting to attend UT Dallas. So again, this is completely optional. You are not required to give this deposit whatsoever. And you can make the payment through Flywire. And we'll go ahead, once everything is confirmed, we'll go ahead and update your I-20 if you're interested in doing the pre-arrival deposit. Okay, so I know I went through that a little quickly, but we have time for questions. So next steps after you've been admitted to your program is going to be applying for that Form I-20. We do host group chats every Wednesday. And so if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to join, reach out to us. We also offer different visa preparation services. So we have one-on-one appointments where you can meet with one of our staff members and you can actually practice. We ask you different questions you could be asked. You practice your answers. We give you feedback. A lot of students have found that very, very helpful. We also have like group one where you can share some of your experiences, some of your doubts, and again, do some of that practice. But if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. As you can see here, there's lots of ways for you to get in contact with us. We have live chat, we have regular appointments. You can always send us an email. And I see there's some chats going on. So that's what I have for you all. Let me go ahead. I will stop sharing my screen and then I can answer any questions.
Great, Jenny. Thank you so much. Yeah, as you were talking at the very end here, we had a question about providing some links. So I just popped into the chat, the main ISSO website, the email address, and then I saw you mentioned the visa preparation. So I just went ahead and put that direct link.
Thank you.
Students, I would definitely encourage you to ask questions. So feel free to unmute and ask a specific question. Or if you don't feel comfortable unmuting, or maybe you're not in a space where you can unmute, definitely then pop your question in the chat. I see we have another question here, and it says, do we need to show financial support if we apply for the PhD? So Jenny, I think this is a great question because I think possibly what the student might also be asking is that if they're awarded a TA or RA-ship, so they're provided sort of the financial support from the department, do they still need to provide that financial support on their own?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I'm going to say it depends. So most of the time, students that are receiving a TA, RA assistantship really do not have to show additional funds. You can show us your award letter. We also have an assistantship affidavit that your department can fill out, and that just shows us that how much you'll be receiving, for how long, that type of thing. So I would say most of the time, no, you don't have to show additional funds, but there are times where it doesn't quite add up to our estimated expenses, and you might have to show just a very small amount of money. And again, it could be personal, it could be from a sponsor, but I would recommend you go through the whole process, you submit the documents that you have, and then one of our advisors will review, and then we'll let you know, hey, you need to show just a little bit more, or we'll let you know, great, this is fantastic, you're all good, and we give you your I-20. So I would say just go through the process, fill everything out with what you have, and then we'll definitely let you know if you need to show anything additional. You're welcome.
Thank you, ma'am, for information. My name is Sahim, and my sponsor is my brother Samim Sahil. He's in America, in Dallas. And I want to ask a question that he will sponsor me. He told me that I'm going to sponsor you. So if I apply through the application process, so it's possible that he can sponsor me.
Yeah, absolutely. So pretty much anybody can be your sponsor. It could be a family member. It could be a friend of a family member. So if your brother is here and is specifically in Dallas, then I would recommend, Sahim, that you utilize that room and meals affidavit. And then if your brother is going to be using his own bank statements or salary statements, because there's lots of different options, he is more than welcome to do so. And then remember that he will need to sign that section in our financial affidavit. But yes, it's absolutely possible for your brother to sponsor you, and you use his documents to apply.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great questions. So what other questions do we have? This is definitely the time to ask questions in regards to international admissions. I always get those questions and I have no idea. So we have the experts online. So now is definitely the time to ask. So are there any other additional questions? You can feel free to put them in the chat, or like Sahim did, you can unmute and ask your question.
Ma'am, yesterday I told you regarding my GPA calculation. So you told me that email, yeah, to the UTD, and I emailed. They answer me that uh, the admission committee will uh, discuss this thing, and after that, yeah, we will tell you. But they didn't mention the time. And the other thing was that they told me that the application process, online application process, is required to be submitted to the admission committee for evolution.
Yes. Okay. So unfortunately, we don't do pre-advising at the graduate level. We're not going to review your documents ahead of time, only because the reality is that the time that you'd be asking the committee to review your application and your documents would be the exact amount of time that it would take for them also to review an actual application. So because they don't do one-offs. Usually when the committee meets, they're reviewing, 8 to 10 applications at a time. That's just to, best practices for use of their time, simply because reviewing applications isn't their only job, unfortunately. We don't have enough staff to be able to do just that. So because of that, you are going to have to apply. However, because you're part of this virtual graduate showcase, your application fee is waived. So there really is no financial challenge or drawback for you to be able to apply. So I would really encourage you to apply, submit all your documentation, make sure that you send that email in regards to, the discrepancy in the GPA, but then the work experience, all of those things. Show them that you, again, Sahim, I think it's beautiful that you've got your brother here, which is amazing. And that you've got the sponsorship, the financial support to be able to pursue your educational career. You've got a lot of really great things going for you, a lot of positives against just that one minor negative. So I encourage you, submit all your documentation, apply for the program, send those emails that needs to be, so that way when the committee meets, they have basically the complete picture to make the decision in regards to your acceptance.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. I got the picture. But ma'am, before starting the application process, I want to know that, uh, uh, like selecting my program, I'm graduated with a degree in computer science, so I want to be do uh, software engineering there. So for the fall intake, for the summer intake, yeah.
Okay, sorry, say that one more time. You're looking for a summer intake for it, and was that in computer science?
Uh, yeah, for the summer intake, like 2026 summer intake. For summer intake, yeah, I want to apply for the summer intake. So when the classes are going to start and how much time
The
it
system
will
will stop
take.
relying on individual. Okay, so the summer intake is, hold on one second, sorry. Sorry about that. The summer intake classes begin in June. So the classes would start essentially in June, but you may want to, we do accept summer, we do have a summer intake. However, the classes are extremely limited. So you definitely want to check with your program to make sure that that would be something that you'd be able to start with. But yeah, but those classes will start in June for sure.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, I want to start software engineering.
Yeah, so yeah, just apply for the software engineering program and submit all your documentation and you should be good to go.
Thank you, ma'am. I will do it today. Yeah.
Okay,
That
excellent.
actually, that kind of brings up a couple things. So I'm glad, Sahim, that you
Oh,
raised
yeah.
those questions and shared. So applying early, as Shantae mentioned, is super important. Not only just so that you get a decision faster, so that you're able to move along, but I'm sure most, if not all of you, are aware just with the applying for a visa interview is taking quite a long time. And so the earlier that you apply, that you get admitted and get that I-20, the quicker that you're able to move along in that process. So there's not a further delay with you being able to get that visa interview. So that again, I'm in agreement with Shantae is apply as soon as you can so that you get that admission answer sooner rather than later. Not sure if some of you are thinking about summer or fall. But speaking of summer, Saheem, since you mentioned you're interested in summer, I'd say one small, how would I say, hurdle for those who are interested in starting in the summer. So international students, F1 international students are required to enroll full-time for the spring and the fall. But if it's your first semester in the US studying and it's summer, then you're required to enroll full-time for the summer. And what that means is that you'll have to show additional funding with those estimated expenses for the I-20 if you decide that you want to start in the summer. So just something to keep in mind as you're thinking of which intake, which semester you're wanting to start. Fall and spring, it would be the normal estimated expenses that you see there. For summer, it is going to be a little bit more expensive, at least when it comes to the estimated expenses for the I-20. So I just wanted to throw those two pieces of information out there as you're maybe deciding which semester that you want to start.
Okay, Jenny, and I got a question asked about the documents. So you showed a lot of really great documents in the presentation. So where would those students be able to find those documents? Are they, do you have like a direct link that you could pop into the chat?
Yeah, let me get that for you all. So I would say our main page, we've tried to make it as user friendly as possible. I know that it can get a little overwhelming and confusing. So let me go ahead and put this in the chat over here. So this is our main financial requirements webpage, and then you'll find all the links for the different documents that I showed on there. So the estimated expenses chart, the affidavit you'll be able to find on there, the room and meals affidavit, all of that instructions on the pre-arrival deposit, all of it's going to be there on our main webpage. You'll just kind of have to go through it a little bit, but the links are clickable. It'll take you to the PDFs that you'll need. But yeah, it's very helpful And then there's also when it goes to like the actual documents themselves, if you're wondering if we'll accept it, if you just click on the drop box, it'll open up and it'll show you the additional requirements. So it's very comprehensive, a lot of good information on there, and I really encourage you all to go through it carefully. And if you have any questions or you're confused, of course, please feel free to reach out. That's what our office is here for. We want to support you and get all your questions answered.
Yes, and I did put their email in the chat, so they are definitely going to be a great resource. I know for a couple of my information sessions, I also do use this pre and post arrival resources. So I just popped that into the chat. That's a checklist. That's an easy one that I can usually just provide for students when I'm traveling. Or I can post in my information session just to say here are some additional international resources. So and this checklist, I always like a good checklist to make sure
Same.
I have everything done. So use this resource as well. I found that a lot of my international students have liked it because they're able to just sort of check off like I've gotten this done for the
Yeah.
so um
Good morning. Uh, Good morning, Miss Shande. Good
good
morning,
morning.
Jenny. Thank you for conducting this meeting. Yeah, I have two questions for Miss Jenny. So I'm an international student. So I'm on a step F1 STEM OPT, STEM employment visa. So
Hmm.
currently, like I'm looking for PhD options. Miss Shande knows me really very well, and then she navigated me through each and every step that I'm going through for looking for the PhD programs from everything and from the
Hmm.
scratch actually. So my question is like, as an F1 student, like on STEM OPT, I'm about to end my visa on the in the 2026, but my programs begins in the month of August for the 2026. Like
Hmm.
since I just communicated with my school, and then they told me like I have a 60 days of grace period where I can find an different options for my program to be in, or like a depart of the country. So
Uh-huh.
is it true like how the things works after my visa got expired in the month of July, and then my program is going to be on for August for the next month?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the visa is an interesting document. So it's and I know that some the immigration documents can get a little bit confusing. So the visa, I think the visa you're talking about is the stamp that's in your passport, correct? Is that the visa you're referring
Yes.
to? Okay, great. So the visa is we here at the office we like to describe it kind of like a key. Um, and you use that key to enter the house, and let's say the house is the US. So if you're outside the US, you're going to need that to request entry into the US or the house. But once you're in the house, once you're here, you don't necessarily need that key. If it expires, there's no consequence to your immigration status. It's just if you plan to leave the US and want to re-enter, then it needs to be valid. But if you don't have any plans, you just want to stay in the US as you're making the transition from ending your STEM OPT to this new program, that's fine. The validity of your visa wouldn't have any impact on your immigration status. The validity that you want to worry about is going to be the like your I-20, or like in your situation it would be like your EAD card, those types of things. But the visa expiring, that's fine. That's okay. I'm going to put in the chat for you because your situation is a little bit different because you're in the US. So you would be considered a transfer. And so your process is going to look a little bit different than someone who's outside the US for the first time. And so you're going to want to work with your current school and then us to transfer your immigration record. But some of the process is still the same as far as applying for the I-20, same documents, things like that. But I would go to our webpage on transfer, and we also have a really helpful guide so that you can figure out the timeline that's going to be best for you, since you are working, and once you transfer your CVIS record over to us, your work eligibility ends. And so look at these resources I put in the chat, and then if you have any questions, please reach out to us, and we'll help you figure out the steps that you need to do.
Yeah, thank you. And then one more thing, like, what are things that are a bit different from my application with an international application coming from the outside of the US?
Really nothing is different from those that are outside the US. It's just the main thing is, instead of an initial I-20 request, you're going to submit a transfer I-20 request. But all the documents and things that are needed are going to be the same. It's just a different request or application in I-comment.
Yeah, perfect. Can I ask Mr. Shande a question?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, hey, Miss Shante, like, I've seen the barcode for the fee waiver. Like, the thing how that this works is like, I need to make an application and then I have to pay for it, and then you're going to reimburse it for that fee. Is it correct?
That is not correct. No, if you pay for your application, you pay for your application. There are no refunds, and it's that is actually clearly stated on the actual application fee waiver itself once you go inside. But yeah, no, when you complete your application, you just submit your application with you're able to submit with no cost whatsoever. You can just choose that you'll pay later. And then, but that's
Okay.
as soon as you start the application. So what I've told you guys is that as soon as you start the application, you'll actually receive an application number. And then you have to start the
Mhm.
application in order to put that application number into your fee waiver application. And then, yes, you'll submit. If you pay,
Yes.
then you've paid.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Yeah, and then one more question, like, when I just open the barcode, like the scanner, and then it doesn't says like a biomedical engineering program on the list that I have, that I'm going to apply, the program that I'm going to apply. It says like bioengineering, but it don't say like the biomedical for the PhD program that I'm going to apply.
Yeah,
There isn't any option for such that.
yeah, bioengineering and biomedical engineering are the exact same thing.
Okay, okay, sounds perfect. Thank you. That's all my questions.
Okay, perfect. All right, guys, any other questions we can ask of our international office? Now is the time to definitely ask the questions in regards to the process, fees, once you get here, anything else that you can think of resources that you might need before, during, after you arrive. Now is definitely the time to ask. So I'll give it about another minute or so. You can unmute to ask your questions, or you can pop them in the chat.
Ma'am, could you please tell me that summer 2026 and tech, the classes which are going to start in June. So this intake is good for me to apply, and I can apply through these links that you provide me. So
If
please,
is this for me or
it was for Miss Shanti.
okay?
Okay, so there are no summer classes listed because we're in the fall, and so that summer that schedule is not posted until I believe end of March, beginning of April. So there are no classes. I can't I don't have any information to share with you because there isn't any information. So right now and actually to be completely honest, there's not even spring. I think spring opens up in about 2 or 3 weeks. I think the 20th is when our spring schedule is released. So there's not even spring classes that I could even share with you. So I don't have that information. The only possible potential would be the department, but even then, I'm sure they're probably not going to let you know because that's always based on like faculty availability, you know, student need, things like that. There's a couple different factors that go into, you know, what classes are going to be held in the summer. So unfortunately, I don't have that information. Really, it would be just applying for the term, and then the department would be the one that would reach out to you to let you know what's available.
Okay, okay, ma'am. And what about IELTS? I grabbed 7.0 bands in overall in IELTS online. So it's acceptable or not?
Oh, for the English language proficiency, Jenny, do you by any chance know what that is? What the number is for the ALTS?
I do not know.
Okay,
But we can get you to the answer, hopefully.
yes. Let me look and see really fast.
Thank you.
ALTS is yes. Okay, so ALTS, the minimum score is a 6.5. So yes, if you have a 7.0, then you've met the minimum.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Okay, I'm gonna give it another minute in regards to, I wanna make sure that I'm respectful also of Jenny's time for ISSO. So if you have any additional international admissions or documents questions, please feel free to ask those. Remember, this recording will be posted on our YouTube channel, and you can find that at, and I'll put it here, it's UTD, and then it's Jonsson grad. And this is where all of our recordings for this week's virtual graduate showcase, that's where you can find all the recordings. So including this one where you could watch it as many times as possible to see all the documents that you need, to catch the links, the contact information, all of the great information that Jenny has shared with us today. So you will be able to go back and rewatch that. Those are uploaded every afternoon. And so they are available by 5 p.m. CST. I have my students work on it. So once they've got them uploaded, it's always for sure by the end of the business day. But I'll just give it a minute to see if there's any additional questions. I am going to quickly share my screen to go over the agenda and also the waiver. So give me 1 second here to share. Okay. And I will maximize this. Yep. Oh, it didn't like that. Okay, let's watch it. Okay, here we go. Oops, let's get out of there. Okay, so for our agenda for the rest of, oh, yikes. Does it keep going back? Hold on, sorry guys. Okay, there we go. So our agenda for the rest of today, we have our Office of Graduate Education information session at 10:30. And I don't know why it keeps switching. I apologize. Our Office of Graduate Education. And then tomorrow morning, we have our graduate student panel where you can hear the firsthand experience from current graduate students. Of course, follow us on social media. This is where we will post information in regards to funding opportunities, program information, graduate student experience, and of course, all of our recordings will go on our YouTube channel. And then last but not least, this is our application fee waiver. Please note that it is only valid for the upcoming spring, summer, and fall admissions start time. It only applies to the $75 application fee. So if you apply late after our regular registration, there is a $75 late fee that is assessed. We will not cover that late fee. This is obviously only available for the Jonsson School graduate programs, and it does not cover any undergraduate or certificates, postgraduate. So if you're unsure, make sure you ask. You must have the form completed by Friday, October 24th. We're not accepting any late forms. The form will close anyways. You won't have access to it. And then any forms received before the last session on Friday will automatically be denied. The whole point is that you're attending or watching the sessions for you to receive the application fee waiver. So please take note of that. You can scan the QR code. This presentation or this form will be emailed out to all the students end of day on Friday. So that way, then you'll also have that at your fingertips with a direct link to the application fee waiver. So I will stop sharing my screen and I will double check to see if there are any additional questions for our ISSO. For Jenny, anything that she can help answer quickly within the last 5 minutes? And if not, then we will go.
Miss Shanti, I have a question for you. Like, I'm sorry. So my question is like, could you specify the agenda for the meeting at 10:30? Like, I'm unfortunately I'm not able to attend the meeting, but I need to be, but I have to be, like, unfortunately, I don't have time for that. So can you specify the agenda for this?
I'm sorry, what meeting is that?
Yeah, so there was a meeting at 10:30, right, today? So I couldn't
That's
able to
okay.
attend that meeting. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the Office of Graduate Education. So remember, all of these sessions will be recorded. So all of the sessions will be recorded and they'll be posted on our YouTube channel. So that's where I would encourage you. If you're unable to attend live, then not a problem. You are able to rewatch the information session at your convenience from our YouTube channel.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. And then, so just a reminder for the application fee waiver, you must start an application. The whole point for the fee waiver is that it's for students who are serious about applying to the University of Texas at Dallas for the Jonsson School, one of the Jonsson School graduate programs. So you must start an application in order to be eligible for the fee waiver. If you're not looking to apply in fall or in the academic year of 2026, that's okay. Then we'll have the session next year. And when you're ready to apply for the academic session of 2027. So you must start an application in order to put in that application number. There are no exceptions. So if you are interested, you'll start an application, you'll receive your application number, and then you'll be able to put that in. You are able to submit your application without paying the fee. You just got to go through the whole process. And you'll see that you're able to.
Noted.
There's no problem. So all right, guys. Well, I don't see any other questions in regards to ISSO. Jenny, thank you so much for your time this morning. The presentation was amazing. I always love it because I feel like I learned so much more too. So thank you for your time presenting, answering questions, providing information. I cannot stress to you enough, students, definitely make sure that you reach out to Jenny and her team. They're an amazing team. They're here to help support you, answer your questions, make sure that you have all the resources that you need to successfully start your programs, but also to be successful the entire time that you're here as an international student in Texas. So we thank you for your time this morning and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.